And welcome to Critical Political. I'm Corey, and you're watching The Political Void. This week, we are delving into money laundering and why Capital One closed the accounts held by President Trump, his companies, and his family. Here we go. Money laundering is an illicit method used to conceal the actual origin of funds obtained through illegal operations. This process transforms dirty money, making it appear as though it originated from a legitimate commercial enterprise. This operation typically involves three primary phases. Initially, illicit cash or assets are introduced into the financial system. The next phase is layering, where funds are channeled through intricate transactions to obscure their origin. Lastly, during the integration phase, the laundered money is reintroduced into the mainstream economy via lawful purchases or investments. Several standard methods are utilized to achieve this. Cash-intensive enterprises such as laundromats, car washes, or restaurants are frequently employed to blend illegal funds with legitimate business revenues. Additionally, shell companies may be established to exist solely on paper for the purpose of transferring money. In the modern digital era, transactions trails can also be masked using digital assets like cryptocurrency, online gaming platforms, or digital mixers. Anti-money laundering laws are a group of rules designed to stop criminals from turning dirty money from illegal acts into clean funds. In the United States, these rules are based mainly on the Bank Secrecy Act of 1970 and modern updates like the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2020. They force banks and certain businesses to check client identities and report suspicious actions. Within this legal structure, the Bank Secrecy Act mandates that banks and financial institutions maintain logs of transactions and report cash operations exceeding $10,000. Money laundering became a specific federal offense under the Money Laundering Control Act of 1986, which also outlawed dividing cash deposits to evade reporting requirements. Later, in 2001, the USA Patriot Act implemented stricter provisions to prevent terrorists from transferring funds via the global financial network. To target anonymous shell corporations, the Corporate Transparency Act now requires many businesses to reveal their actual owners to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Critical Political, like numerous other YouTube channels, depends on viewers like you to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. These interactions tell the algorithm that you wish to keep receiving these videos. Headquartered in Tysons, Virginia, Capital One Financial Corporation is an American bank holding company operating across the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. As a leading credit card issuer, one of the top auto finance providers, and one of the largest banking institutions in the United States, the corporation also owns major payment networks, specifically Discover Card, Diners Club, and Pulse. Its business is organized into three primary segments: credit cards, consumer banking, and commercial banking. According to a recent court filing disclosed by Capital One, the bank closed accounts held by President Donald Trump in 2021. This decision followed flagging by the bank of financial activity exhibiting characteristics of money laundering. The disclosure comes amid a lawsuit initiated against Capital One by a financial holding company of Trump's shortly after his second inauguration. Trump claims the bank's closure of his accounts was an illegal, politically motivated action, followed by the January 6th attacks on the U.S. Capitol. Seeking a dismissal of the lawsuit, Capital One stated in the filing that the closures followed months of analysis and careful review by Capital One's AML team, which was conducted in alignment with regulatory guidance and bank policies. In addition to Capital One, Trump has filed a suit against JP Morgan Chase, claiming he was politically debanked after leaving office in 2021. Debanking refers to the practice where financial institutions close customer accounts due to perceived legal, financial, or reputational risks. Both financial institutions deny that political reasons motivated them to sever ties with the president, his sons, or associated businesses. JP Morgan Chase, facing a lawsuit seeking $5 billion in damages, maintained that it does not close accounts based on politics, though it does terminate accounts with or without cause, particularly those presenting legal or regulatory risk. The president's legal team filed an amended lawsuit in July, reviving a complaint that had been dormant for months to allege political motivations for the debanking. Capital One has dismissed these updated allegations as meritless, arguing that the complaint is built upon cherry-picked quotations and new theories. Trump's legal team dismissed the bank's assertions, though they did not speak to the internal findings detailed by Capital One. In the spirit of full disclosure, my background is in banking, meaning that I must adhere to the very regulations that prompted this debanking. When a financial institution shuts down an account due to money laundering suspicions, it is never a casual choice. Because internal and federal audit standards demand that every transaction be documented, such actions are only executed when backed by solid evidence. Anything less belongs strictly in the realm of fiction. Accusing others of political motivations, Trump predictably played the victim when faced with the consequences of his actions. Such behavior resembles a toddler throwing a tantrum when denied a desired toy. He simply cannot be taken seriously. In the banking world, Trump desperately wants to avoid a courtroom, hoping instead that his public posturing will suffice to compel compliance. However, banking systems do not operate that way, no matter the scale of your assets. Money laundering stands as a felony within the United States, prosecuted as a grave offense under state and federal frameworks that impose substantial financial sanctions and lengthy prison terms. Former President of Mexico, Enrique Peña Nieto, said, "I think money laundering is giving oxygen to organized crime." Should it truly come as a shock to anyone that an individual who mismanaged casinos so terribly might also have ties to money laundering? That is all for this week. Until next time, remember, silence is compliance. Your voice is vital. Stand up, speak out, strike back. They don't know what they started. If you appreciate this content, please like, share, and subscribe. For updates, ring the bell. Your support truly helps the channel.